Welcome to episode 7 of the Curds Crypto Podcast. Today we're going to cover some news around the blockchain and XRP. There's tons to cover, so let's kick this shit off. Remember, folks, everything in this podcast is not financial advice, nor is it legal advice. Since we are covering XRP and the SEC, I just want to make that clear. Drum roll, please, for my host bringing you the crypto news, Jake, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this fine Thursday evening. I am here to talk to you about your lightning crypto news. I'm going to go through a lot of it. I'm going to go through it quick so that you don't get bored to the best of my abilities. Hopefully you'll learn something and you get to take it back and tell your families while you drone on about the different crypto news that's in the space. What we're going to start with here. So Coinbase is looking to control Latin America's largest crypto exchange. They plan on outright purchasing it from the current company that owns it in Latin America. The UK is going to unveil new crypto regulation plans in the next couple weeks because they were going to ban it, then they didn't ban it, and now they're going to figure out what the hell they're going to do with it. Terra holds about $1.4 billion in Bitcoin as of today and plans to buy near about $10 billion as a reserve to help make sure that they, have some sort of asset backing the, two coins that they currently represent, which is Luna, Terra Luna, and then obviously UST, which is US Terra, which is a stable coin. Russia's prime minister urges the necessity to integrate crypto into the economy. Smart guy, even though Russia's kind of a piece of shit right now. Binance opening an office in Rio de Janeiro, which is a Brazilian city, is going to be opening it up for tax payments specifically in Bitcoin. Crypto.com ran an ad at the Oscars, not at the same time when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, but same deal. So Crypto.com ran an ad at the Oscars. That was cool. ExxonMobil is planning to use all of their excess natural gas to mine Bitcoin for profit. I think that's fucking awesome. That's super interesting. It's not a waste anymore, and I'm all for it. Wall Street Bank is going to offer a spot in terms of Bitcoin on, what they do for investments. Israel's biggest bank Luime, I think I'm saying that wrong, Luime will offer Bitcoin and Ethereum trading on their platform, which is awesome. Addresses that hold Bitcoin surpassed $40 million for the first time. Never happened before. Bank of England says that crypto has the potential to reshape the traditional financial sector. I think, we already know that because it's a tech boom at this exact moment in time. Phi Labs, which is a contributor to a small contract builder on the Cosmos blockchain, which we've talked about before, raised $21 million for staff expansion, product development, and building on Phi Labs protocol. So that's kind of a big partnership for Phi Labs there. Goldman Sachs decided that they're going to join the crypto and metaverse spaces much more frequently here and en masse because they found out that they are mega trends that are reshaping the economies, they said. So they want to dip their feet into that pot. Financial firm Cohen launches a crypto unit, which is going to help lead U.S. banks in the growing segment in relation to what crypto is doing in the United States right now, which is kind of a big deal. Cohen is one of the biggest financial firms in the United States, and them launching a specific, unit to help the banks integrate themselves into the crypto space is going to help with regulation. Crypto exchange FTX and Europe's largest ETP users are joining forces to launch a Solana ETP. Goldman Sachs says that 60% of their surveyed clients, so they surveyed their clients, 60% of those clients are intending to increase their holdings in crypto over the next year. SK Square, which is a South Korean investment group that is very large. Some of you may know this if you are into gaming or esports because they sport the team for League of Legends called SKT1, which is SKT1 Telecom. They're going to spend $1.6 billion in the next 3 years on investing in chips and blockchain, which is kind of crazy. It's one of the most successful esports brands in the business. Shout out to all the players over there in South Korea because they're usually kind of killer when it comes to, Worlds and League of Legends and so on and so forth. So that's awesome that they're kind of jumping in on the crypto space. Animoca, I think I'm saying that correctly, Animoca Brands and Ubisoft invest $12 million specifically for blockchain gaming. they're starting a trading card game called Cross the Ages, or CTA, which is going to be mobile compatible mainly on your phone, and it plans to add a metaverse for that game by 2023. The number of active blockchain games has doubled since last year. That's obviously a good thing for blockchain games. The amount of traffic that's going through it having doubled, I mean, I can't even imagine what it's going to look like in the coming years. A new bill in the United States tasks the Treasury, not the Fed, with the digital dollar issuance and regulation. Instagram, thank you Zuck, is going to adopt NFTs that could lead to mainstream adoption. So they are going to start integrating NFTs into Instagram specifically. Hopefully that helps with the integration of NFTs and how the adoption is across the board. 1/4 of investors currently own Bitcoin. That's awesome. I say awesome a lot on this one, I guess. Visa is working to have every NFT marketplace accept Visa cards for payments, so you don't even have to buy crypto. Visa just wants you to be able to specifically purchase any NFT on any marketplace via whatever card that they come out with. In terms of integration and accessibility, that's going to completely change the landscape when it comes to people that aren't integrated in crypto, because they don't even have to be in crypto to buy NFTs then. Robinhood Crypto COO resigns because he wants to do his own project in crypto. OpenSea is going to integrate Solana NFTs in April, and Axie Infinity, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, and the first DeFi game to come out, got hacked. So their Ronin network was hacked for $625 million, which is one of the largest in DeFi history. Vietnam is at the head of crypto adoption in terms of the worldwide focus, and it plans to continue to integrate itself into crypto and focus on the legal aspect and framework of it. Nexo clients. Nexo is an app that you can purchase crypto on, so it's an exchange. They currently are offering a yield of up to 12 to 14% on ApeCoin. I talked about ApeCoin last time and how it was launched, so on and so forth. Check out episode 6 if you want to know more about that. The WWE is launching an NFT. I also talked about that earlier. Mila Kunis is actually coming out with her own line of WWE NFTs, and that's probably going to be a part of it, but the WWE is going to launch their own line as well. FTX is looking to create a big old fucking fund of funds in response to the increased institutional interest, so that they have a larger holding in crypto, just like, what's his name that is with Terra? Do Kwon? Yeah. So Do Kwon is, he's looking for about $10 billion when it comes to his reserves in Bitcoin, and FTX is like, oh shit, we got to do the same thing. Coinbase is looking to hire over 2,000 people over the next 6 months, which is fucking awesome. Hopefully that, integrates a lot of different people into the space. I talked about that before, but they're still looking to do that in the coming months here. And the last one that I have for you here is the Dutch Bank says that stablecoins will compete with traditional payment. Well, no shit. Obviously, they will compete with traditional payment because they're one-to-one to whatever dollar in terms of the place that they are started up in. So, for example, USDC is one-to-one to the US dollar. It's supposed to be across the board, same deal. That's news. That's what I have for you that has been coming out in the crypto space in the last week. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully I tickled your fancy. I'm going to let my partner here, Jake, take over and talk to you about XRP. I hope you learned something, and I hope that I will be able to serenade your ears later on in the podcast.
What up, what up? So, what is XRP Ripple? XRP is the product, and Ripple Labs is the company behind the token XRP. The main premise of XRP is to serve as a bank intermediary for borderless transactions. You can think of XRP kind of like a CBDC, and you can exchange money for XRP. Jake is farting in the background. Just let him get it out. We'll continue once he gets his gas passed. So where was I? XRP is the token, so you can exchange fiat for XRP, and you can send it to anyone or anywhere in any country with little fees. Right now, that beats out the current Swiss system of Swift, which with Swift, you have to go through a long process and you lose a lot of funds through the exchange rate of moving your money from one currency to another. With XRP, you don't have to exchange anything. You can just send the money and it arrives to those people within minutes. Where with the Swift system, the transactions can take 3 to 4 days sometimes for the final process to go through. So XRP uses RippleNet, which is the network, and they use XNet, which is the product. You can put money on here like Swift, so you can think of XNet as the Swift system. And through this, they can detect fraud, so nobody can launder money through XRP. They already have that covered. American Express and other big banks are already in partnership with it, which I thought was interesting because you would think they wouldn't have many partnerships, but with already having some big banks on board and American Express, you can see the interest in it and what it can bring for technology. XRP is designed as the international blockchain, while Ripple also has a blockchain. They're the more centralized version where they use this for voting purposes, and the Ripple blockchain acts as more of the central bank, where XRP is the currency that you use to make transactions. There's no rewards for running validators on XRP, so nobody can have more of a say in the governance while using Ripple. We can talk about the allegation. So the SEC claims Ripple is a security, not a currency. The regulations could change if XRP is considered a security, but the SEC wants 2 billion of this. They sold 2 billion XRP before they actually registered as a currency, and I think the main reason why the SEC wants to go after Ripple is to kind of take away some of that 2 billion funds that they have. This is not the only blockchain that the SEC has went after before. Basically, XRP at current is like a stock, but without proper regulation. The court hearing, there isn't an official date on when it's going to be finished, but right now they're going over memos and transcripts taken from the founders, and they're just kind of going over to see the process and how they went about, if they went about it in a decentralized way or a centralized way, if they did the proper system in forming the overall mechanics of XRP. Like I said, the founders are included. The SEC has grabbed all the transcripts and messages from them, and they're looking and determining whether or not they did the right thing. How the SEC is testing for it to be a security or a currency is what's called the Howey test, which all you need for the Howey test is an investment of money, common and enterprise, expectation of profit, and then through efforts of third party. So a lot of cryptos make up the first three, but the last one of through efforts of third party, what's interesting with Ripple is it's more identifiable as a third party because they have that associated blockchain with it, where most cryptos you don't have an identifiable third party, where in the likes of Ethereum you have a founder, but there's no actual other enterprise associated with the blockchain. There's nobody else working with it other than the founders. There's many other developers, and there's no clear winner in terms of a third-party brand that's overseeing the whole project. Ripple argues because it's decentralized in the manner that they went about it, that it's not considered a security, rather a currency. I think the reason why the SEC is targeting Ripple is because of that first 2 billion in transactions before they registered as a currency. The SEC knows that what Ripple did to start off the currency was wrong, so I think they can take a piece of that money before everything's finalized. If Ripple wins the lawsuit, Coinbase could relist XRP. And even if they lose, they may still list XRP as a currency. Right now, Coinbase has another security by definition, but Luna can get away with it by also listing UST because it's a decentralized stablecoin. So Coinbase already has some securities listed, and I think they may go ahead and still list XRP even if they lose. Because I found it interesting that Coinbase also filed to sell securities at some point. Right now, where you can buy XRP is KuCoin and Gate.io, but this is closing to U.S. customers soon. I would say wait for the dust to settle first, but if you think they're going to win, I think it'd be wise to go ahead and try to buy a small amount and just hold it, because if they do win, XRP is going to rocket to the moon. Because they recently also had a bullish catalyst of a $250 million NFT fund. I don't know what they're thinking of maybe bringing to the table with NFTs, but if they win, they could see some NFTs coming to XRP. I know my boy Jake would love to see some NFTs on XRP, and maybe that would get him to buy some. A little bit about the fixed supply. There's currently 100 billion coins. The founders have 20 billion of them. Ripple Labs holds 7 billion of them, and then between companies and individuals, there's 40 billion. XRP is slightly deflationary based on their current vesting period. Stablecoins help solve the borderless problem, and so could XRP, of sending transactions smoothly with little to no fees of the exchange rate. It would be interesting to see if XRP wins and the US comes out with a CBDC. The demand for both would definitely still be there. I could see them both coinciding, but I think the SEC ultimately wants XRP gone so they can take the full reign of the CBDC and the digital dollar. If they lose or if they win, I think there will be still tons of demand for XRP to go around for everybody. Now that I've covered XRP and the ins and outs of the SEC allegations, I think we can talk about some cheese curds, because I've worked up a pretty strong appetite. This brings us to our cheese curd segment of the podcast. Jake went ahead, like the fine gentleman he is, and got some curds from Stonearch Brewery.
They're right down the road. I don't live very far away from them. They're delicious. I absolutely love their beer. My favorite plug here is going to be their 6-grain wheat. It's the best fucking beer that I've ever had in my life.
Best fucking beer. That's a pretty bold...
Seriously, I'm not lying. It's the best fucking beer that I've had in my life. And it's my favorite. 100% recommend it. If you ever come into Wisconsin and you decide to go to some major cities, you'll find it in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Their cheese curds, I've never seen curds like this. They're like little cubes. They're not deep fried. They're kind of just breaded cubes that are, I think they're stovetop fried.
It kind of melts in your mouth though.
It is. It's kind of like cheesecakey cheese curds in a way. But anyways, let's go ahead with the
cheers,
taste test. Yeah,
Cheers,
I need to eat one of these. They look so good.
I see. Okay, what do you got for mouthfeel?
Mouthfeel. Yeah, like you said, they do melt in your mouth a bit. They're very sweet.
Think
and
they're sweet?
Decadent.
Decadent?
The mouthfeel, I will give a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. I'll give it a 4 out of 5 too. I think that it's hard to get a 5 out of 5 in general. I think 4 out of 5 is fair with that.
What about the taste? What would you...
I mean, the taste is pretty close to top notch for me. I'd probably give it a 4.5. I'd probably give it a 4.5. My first decimal. You're usually the decimal guy.
That's a tough one. I'll say a 4 out of 5 again, or 3.9.
Doubling up on the 4, 3.9, just to throw the decimal in there like a little bitch.
The inner cheese.
Like a little bitch.
What about the inner
decimal.
cheese?
The inner cheese? I mean, the inner cheese melts in your mouth. That's a 5.
I don't want to repeat what you said, but the cheesecake-ish texture of it just melting away is so smooth.
It's just prime time.
I'll give it a 5 as well.
Breading. That's you. You're the one that had the opinions about the breading being in a cube form.
I don't know what I like. If you like that classic deep fried taste and breading, this curd is a bit different. It's kind of like making French toast with a cheese curd.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's actually kind of
how they breaded it is like
yeah.
stovetop fried, but it's actual bread, I think.
Yeah.
It is good though. I will say 3.5.
3.5.
I do like the breading though. It's.
I'll give it a 4.
It goes well with the cheese, like how the cheese intertwines.
I mean, that's probably why they did it.
The freshness feel.
It was fresh, dude. I swear, even though it melted in my mouth, it felt squeaky.
I might say too, yeah. I might give this one a 5 out of 5 on this
fresh,
because
it was fresh as fuck, dude.
with the deep fried shit, the cheese curd, then the cheese just binds in it. But with this kind of shit, it just stays. It stays fresh. I don't know.
It just tastes good.
Yeah, it just tastes good.
Tastes good. I mean, that's if we add them up. I'm too lazy to add them up.
Stonearch, though, with our ratings, has been the highest. I'd say.
It's been one of the highest for sure.
Good pick.
Yeah,
it's
thank
good
you.
pick.
Thank you.
Good touch on the cheese curds. I loved it. I've been waiting all day for it.
I know you have.
Today is a big day. Do you know why?
No.
Because Crystalvale launched today.
Oh my God, Crystalvale!
If you don't know what Crystalvale is, you're sleeping under a damn rock. No, I'm just kidding. Crystalvale is the new world for Defi Kingdoms in a winter wonderland.
Dude, highest transactions in the past couple weeks in terms of, DeFi games and the amount of... So Jewel is their native token, and the amount of traffic that's been on their blockchain with transfers and, the transactions in relation to running the, the NFTs and the heroes on their specific game and that blockchain is, it's top. It's literally the top.
So the overall expansion was super, super well done. The only thing they're struggling with right now is the Synapse bridge, which I tried to bridge some Jewel over tonight, and there's a few overweight. I think like every game, there's always some servers, just because the volume, like we said, is so high. I think the number I saw today was 76 million. That's off the top of my head, but I think it's over 70 million of just Jewel volume transactions being bridged over through Synapse.
Right. I'll look it up the next time Jake talks to double check here, but the thing that I want to bring up too is the APY or the APR. Why don't you talk about that in comparison?
I don't know what I think it's over 1,000 APR for the first epoch. That's why so many people are trying to get into the crystal staking right now, because everybody wants to get that highest reward block. And myself included, I want to be in on that, but I have some Jewel that's waiting to be bridged over. I think they'll get it fixed. They have AVAX, the Jewel devs, and the Synapse devs all working together right now. So that's 3 collaboration of team members working on a single problem. So I'm optimistic they'll get it resolved within the next few hours here. Could be tonight, could be tomorrow. But they did say that they are going to postpone the first epoch until tomorrow. They're not going to keep it out tonight, which is good and proper of the team to let everybody have a fair share in the first epoch.
So in the last 7 days, this graph was made about 2 days ago. I posted it on my Twitter @alwaysoblak. Just gonna plug that because
seamless plug.
Yeah, seamless plug. I do a lot of NFT stuff on Solana. Regardless, what I'm looking at here is that Harmony 1. So Harmony 1 is the token that is used in the blockchain that's used. Well, the original blockchain that was used. You can use what
for Serendale.
Yeah, for Serendale. And Harmony 1 is what you can use to purchase Jewel on the native game, right? So Harmony 1, the blockchain specifically, was number 3 in the last 7 days for the amount of transactions, and the amount of transactions that it's sitting at is 643 million.
That is insane. That's just a lot. Harmony has been bogged down. I always can tell when Jewel price is surging because RPCs are slow.
I mean, yeah, it's true. I'm going to shameless Solana plug. Solana was at 65.5 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot. But in terms of size for Harmony and one single game with all the apps and shit that Harmony has, that's a lot. That's more impressive in my opinion.
That's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of DeFi, there's a lot of DeFi games out there, but there aren't many DeFi games that I've looked at and been like, yeah, like, this looks fun. Like, yes, they give you yields. Yes, you can earn by staking or playing, earn X amount of, tokens back that you can eventually convert back into money if you wanted to. But the native tokens and the actual gameplay is honestly pretty subpar. And when it comes to DeFi Kingdoms, it's fun. It's actually fun.
Yeah, I don't think people realize until you own a hero, it looks very basic, but it's so fun just to collect the items and have that random draw of RNG that you can get from just collecting different things.
And the thing is that they made a whole nother world with Serendale, or Crystalvale, because Serendale's DeFi. They made a whole nother world with Crystalvale, and they haven't even come out with everything on Serendale.
If that amount of transactions were on Harmony, how many do you think will add to the Avalanche chain?
When
Avalanche going over 100 soon.
Yeah.
This is a fun, crazy time. I'm curious if we're gonna see Avalanche get back to those all-time highs. I want to knock on some wood right there, but we could gap up above 100 to 115. That would be big. And now we have this launch, and we're breaking 100 as we speak. Breaking news: Avalanche is at 169 cents. My lucky number. Woo! I love that. That's just a great week for the fucking crypto space. Seriously. We've gone through some dumps of the war and shit. Solana at 122. We've gone through some hard times, and I was going to say, a few weeks ago, I was about to say, those people who have high conviction in holding, they're going to be rewarded soon. And look at, you're being rewarded right now for holding that shit. But it's not always a bad time. I mean, you can't get you can never get too high and never too low. That's the best thing. That's the number one advice I'd say is
you got to skim off when you feel comfortable.
Yeah, you got to stay neutral, and as bullish as we are, it's never a bad idea to take a little bit off the table for a little trip or something, whatever you want to do. Get a haircut, buy a nice meal at McDonald's or something.
The fun thing about crypto is that the amount of movement that happens if you actually do the research is a lot more rewarding. Because if you do the research and you understand what the space is actually doing in the projects or the tokens that you're interested in, you're going to be rewarded, like Jake said here, for your efforts, and it's going to be a lot quicker than like the stock market.
Here's another piece of advice I'll say is, this is a time where you always want to rotate. Like, you see all these shiny objects. Everybody wants to move to the shiniest object. I find myself doing that too. Is like, when I look at Atom, like, just fucking move already. But when you least expect it and you want to rotate out of it, that's when those gains happen. So if you be patient with those things that haven't moved yet and you have high conviction in them, stay in those projects and you still will see those gains. As hard as it is to see some 50% gains, and you're like, oh, I want to get on that action, I want to move some of this.
It already happened. It already happened.
You've built conviction in what you own. Stay the course. Don't move things around too much. Just wait it out. Be patient, and patience pays.
Patience does pay, and conviction is the most important in crypto if you do your research, because if you do your research, then you shouldn't be worried about everything else popping, because eventually what you did your research on that you believe in is going to pop.
Like, Evmos season flop for Atom, but I'm still hopeful as shit that they're going to have I have one of the highest convictions in Atom, even though it has lagged behind a lot of the other movers.
But it lags behind when it drops too.
Yeah. That is true. It's like a lagging indicator for the market, which is weird. But I did see that waves. When you see waves running, that's a good sign that a big move's coming. And waves went up this last week like 200%. I don't own any waves myself, but when it drops, it moves low. But when we have a big heavy push, usually waves is a front runner, like Adam is a lagging indicator. Waves could be a signaler for a big move happening up.
Dude, I can't. We just had a huge pump. So I opened my phone as Jen was talking about AVAX and like hoping he was over 100. I opened my phone and that shit just popped like straight. It just fucking candled up to 101, and Solana did the same thing. Like that's fucking
those
nuts.
gap ups. The
What the
Solana
fuck is near?
gap up's gonna be coming to Solana to 150. Hopefully, knock on wood, and Avalanche to 115. I had something I was gonna say. I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head here. I lost it.
I'm looking at it here, and I was gonna see what Near's at, and Near hasn't spiked yet. It's only at as of right now. What it said, it's at 1422.
Oh,
it did.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Two things I'll say. When you're bridging Jewel to Crystalvale, do not use the Avalanche C chain. Use the Defi Kingdoms mainnet, not the Avalanche C chain. Don't bridge to the Avalanche C chain. The second thing is, when you say AVAX, you know it's actually pronounced AVAX.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Why wouldn't they call it AVAX? That's way cooler.
I was looking. I'm not positive, but I did see a lot of people talking about how to pronounce AVAX.
I'm gonna still call it AVAX because AVAX reminds me of that game. It was about Greek mythology and it was like Age of Empires, and one of the heroes was AVAX. Maybe it was AVAX, and I'm just stupid.
All right, do you have anything else to add? I mean, we did cover a lot of things. I hope you enjoyed the news. I hope you enjoyed learning about XRP, and
I hope you enjoyed all
some of the banter we had at the end.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go buy some Stonearch cheese curds or some 6-grain wheat.
Yeah, 6-grain wheat. That's the best one.
Well, take care, everybody. I will see you on the flip.